To Rhode Island now, where soon Providence police will provide an update on the investigation into the deadly shooting at Brown University. Sources tell CBS News that law enforcement has issued an arrest warrant for a person of interest in the shooting, and there's a multi-state manhunt underway right now for the suspect. A gunman shot and killed 2 people and injured 9 others last Saturday. And we also have new aerial video from just moments ago where the manhunt has now expanded to New Hampshire. And sources also tell CBS News that law enforcement is investigating possible connections between the mass shooting and the targeted killing of an MIT professor 2 days later in Brookline, Massachusetts. CBS News Boston reporter Kmitt is covering the latest in the investigation. Let's listen in.
Neighbors have been hypothesizing this potential connection for days now. I've been out here every single day, and it's not hard to draw these connections. The horrific shooting at Brown University happened in a building that housed the physics and engineering department, and we know that the professor that lived here in Brookline was a physics professor. Not only was Professor Nuno Loureiro a physics professor, but he also just last May was named the director of one of MIT's largest labs, the Plasma Science and Fusion Center. We're told that he lived in his Brookline home with his 3 young kids. He had a family, and speaking with community members, they've, like I said, been hypothesizing this connection for days, but to actually learn about it, they told me, was shocking. They didn't say it brought them any peace of mind. They say it actually makes them even more scared to think of this person still being out there.
I think for the families, I would wish for answers.
Mm-hmm. What's making you get emotional right now?
Yeah, your heart goes out to them. Yeah, it's a tough situation to have just out of the blue. Hopefully in good time, they'll have the answers and catch the people who did it.
The Brookline community is a very tight, typically safe community. I've seen neighbors hugging one another, just thinking about this professor, and they want answers. That's the biggest thing I've been hearing from people. They just want answers. We've been asking the Norfolk County DA's office every day for answers. We saw them at the Brian Walsh sentencing this morning. We asked them, hey, what's going on in Brookline? David Lee said they had no response for us.
Now we know why they were.
We want to bring in Jeff Harp. He is a retired assistant special agent in charge for the FBI. Jeff, thanks for being here. We know there is a person of interest and an arrest warrant has been issued. So what does all of that mean in terms of how close things may be to an actual arrest?
Well, it means they have somebody identified at least. There's going to be a lot of information that the public's not going to know because they certainly don't want to tip the hand of the person of interest any more than they already have. Obviously, if they have an arrest warrant, they've got this person fully identified, but it sounds like they are likely don't have them in pocket yet.
Yeah, so knowing that, what are the biggest challenges for law enforcement in an investigation like this?
Well, just tracking the guy down now. I mean, they could be anywhere. And if these shootings were connected in any way at MIT and Brown, then it sounds to me more like some sort of, there could be a conspiracy going on. And if these folks are connected, then they could certainly help each other evade law enforcement.
Is that to mean that there are 2 suspects when you're saying that there's a possible connection, or what do you see between the 2?
Well, so just from what I have read and the folks that I've talked to, it sounds like this vehicle was key to identifying the person at MIT, and they were likely able to use information either from the vehicle electronics, the rental application, to put those things in close proximity to Brown University.
If we look at a timestamp of things as to when the Brown University shooting happened and also the MIT professor killed, are you surprised that it's taken this long possibly to get even an arrest made? There's been persons of interest. There have been people that have been arrested and released, but there is quite some time in between all of this since it originally happened.
I don't want to say I'm surprised, because when they say they have someone of interest, that can be somebody that's completely unidentifiable. And that person over the course of hours can go into hiding, 1, or 2, they can hop on a plane at Logan Airport and be gone. So The fact that they had a person of interest that was not identified, those are two separate things. Once they've identified the person, now they can start trying to track that person down. So it does take time to do so.
It seems like a very delicate dance between investigators sharing information with the public, having news conferences, and then keeping things close to the vest as well. Is that kind of what's happening now? Because we're trying to go on any information that we have, but I assume there's a lot more details they just cannot release right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We have a thirst and hunger for information, and especially nowadays that we have it available at our fingertips on our phones, on our computers, on our iPads, and everything else. So we want it and we want it now. Unfortunately, for law enforcement, there are things that they can't release and don't want to release. So yeah, it's a delicate dance. They have to put enough information out there that certainly will help, the public can help identify folks, but at the same time, they don't want to tip their hand too much because they want this person to at least remain, somewhat unknown, so they're able to have a surprise attack when they do find him.
Yeah, and Jeff, as we're talking with you, we're looking at video of a particular car right now. Investigators believe the suspect in the shooting at Brown University actually rented this car, which is the same make and model as the one detected in the vicinity of the MIT professor's apartment. So obviously they're onto something. What can you glean again from this rented car and anything else that investigators are kind of zeroing in on right now?
Well, you think about it, when you go rent a car at the airport or any place else, you have to show a valid driver's license. That doesn't mean the person didn't use fake ID or use something else, but they're going to have something to go on. They'll also start looking at more digital forensics that automobiles provide nowadays. They have a plethora of information that's available to them through the manufacturers. So they can look at routes of travel. They can look at the rental application. I mean, there's things these new revelations are very solid evidence that they're going to be able to track down. And once you start crossing state lines, that gives the FBI a little more authority to conduct an investigation as well.
Sure. Jeff Harp, as always, thanks for your insight. We'll certainly check back with you as this continues into the night. Thank you again.
Sure thing.